Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, we're featuring Max Siegelman. He's founder of Seelman Stable. Now, Seelman Stable has been adopted in various celebrity wardrobes, draping the likes of VIPs, influencers, and artists such as Kendall Jenner, Dwayne Wade, and Future. Today, we are here at iHeart headquarters in studio chatting all about the inspiration behind Seelman Stable, leveraging social media for brand awareness and maintaining a successful fashion brand. Now, according to market research, the equestrian fashion market is valued at billions globally, and brands like Polo Ralph Lauren and Seelman Stable contribute significantly to this billion-dollar market through their equestrian-inspired collections. Now, horses have been long associated with elegance, prestige, and a refined lifestyle. Equestrian fashion draws inspiration from the world of horseback riding, which has historically been linked to aristocracy and upper-class leisurely pursuits, if you know what I will. Now, how this association with the elite comes full circle, we're going to chat with Max directly. But the association with the elite can contribute to the allure and exclusivity of equestrian-inspired fashion lines. That's without a doubt. And studies show that equestrian sports such as polo and horse racing have a really strong following among affluent demographics. Now, this demographic, in fact, overlapped with consumers of equestrian-inspired fashion, really further enhances the perception of luxury and that status associated with these brands. It really goes hand in glove. Here to chat fashion, horses, and achieving brand recognition is the amazing Max Siegelman. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Thank you for having me. Pumped to be here.
So excited to have you. So I say that the drive and motivation behind equestrian-inspired fashion lines really stems from a desire to capture the sophistication, if you will, and the prestige associated with equestrian culture. And brands, like I mentioned earlier, like Ralph Lauren, have tapped into this aspirational lifestyle, offering consumers this taste of refined world of horseback riding right through their clothing and accessories. So your journey from utilizing hand-drawn logos from your father's horse race stable to establishing Siegelman Stable is quite remarkable. I find it, in fact, fascinating. How did this transition occur, and what inspired you to venture into this particular industry?
Yeah, I always say it kind of happened by accident, jokingly, but it kind of did. So I think we were all forced in the pandemic, either in the beginning or at some point during it, to come up with something creative to make up some time of just sitting at home and not being able to do as much as we were. So I was not traveling as much with clients, and for work, I was doing consulting and marketing and social for different celebrities and music artists and athletes. And I decided for fun just to start making some hats and sweatshirts with the two existing logos that he had that my mom hand drew for him when he started his own racing stable in the 80s. No intention to sell anything. Took $300-400, started making 3 different color hats, 3 different color sweatshirts, gave them to family and friends, and enough people saw them either through Instagram or figured out a different way to contact me, asking where they could buy it, and decided that I would launch a website that they could buy those 6 different SKUs. Wasn't making a lot at first at all. Again, I think I reinvested another $300-400 to do so. Launched a website, but always said that I would stay true to my dad's story as a racehorse trainer, but the additional layer of opening up his stable to different equine therapy programs, mostly in the Newark, New Jersey area for inner city kids or veterans of PTSD, and using his stable for a bigger purpose than just training racehorses.
I love that you said a bigger purpose, and that's why this Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. We always look for the bigger purpose, and I know that our dear friend Blaze mentioned that you are very socially active, and you always look for the underlying sentiment before you just get involved with anything that has to do with the bigger picture, and especially giving back, because you have to, of course, balance the karma, right? So your brand has seen remarkable growth in recent years. Could you highlight some key strategies or maybe even partnerships that fueled this growth?
Definitely. I think we took the approach at first, not knowing that we were going to sell stuff, and then starting to see a little bit of an organic ramp up being very, very small in the beginning. I started to use some of the relationships and networking from past jobs and experiences, and started seeding out some product to some athletes and music artists that I had previous relationships with. Some I had none at all. Some I found random addresses and prayed for the best, and it got to them, and was lucky enough that they wore it and were seen wearing it or posted on social media wearing it. And that has been a great strategy for us. And in terms of partnerships and collaborations, I just believe that collaboration is something that can make or break a brand and how long you're around for. So we've been fortunate enough to have brand partnerships and have collaborations with some of the biggest sport teams in the world, some other huge brands and individuals. And we really use that co-marketing opportunity to tell our story alongside of theirs.
Well, it sounds like you have your work cut out for you, not just in the fashion industry, but also as an entrepreneur and as a marketing expert at this point, because it seems like you have your tentacles everywhere. And that's exactly how it should be as the founder of a brand. Now, cultural and societal references to horses in fashion really extend beyond mere aesthetics. You know this better than anyone else. And horses symbolize power and grace and freedom, qualities that resonate with consumers seeking to embody a certain lifestyle or persona through their fashion choices, right? So, coming full circle, celebrity endorsements, those have a significant impact for brand visibility. So, how did you go about securing endorsements from high profile figures like Kendall Jenner and Dwayne Wade in the future? I mean, what's the secret to creating a strong, authentic brand?
I wish there was one secret. It's not that easy. All three of those that you just named, we got to or I spoke to in crazy different ways. I think when we first started, I didn't necessarily know that that was a great route for us to go. I think you reference all these brands that have been around forever, like Gucci or Hermes, and they all have some recognition to a horse, or even Burberry. And so I think there's definitely a huge underlining piece of that in the upper class. But I think even more important for us, I didn't want to be a brand that was just for one demographic. And when I set out, I said that I wanted to make pieces that a kid who idolizes a rapper from Atlanta would want. And I would also want someone who follows Kendall Jenner, who's open about owning horses and riding horses, to want that same piece. So I think in my mind, I had a aspirational list and I had a relatable list, and relatable being that maybe kid who never grew up in a city and has never seen a horse in person or rode a horse or pet a horse or ever thought about seeing one. And then that relatable list of maybe someone who grew up in a big city or grew up in the country just outside a city and was fortunate enough to take horseback riding lessons or go to the races with their grandparents or parents. So I think the way we tell our story is a way that I think a lot of people can relate, no matter what your demographic is, what class you're in, what interest you have. I think we speak to a larger audience.
I couldn't agree more. Exactly. Apple is a tech company that wants to appeal to creators, and to do that, it brands itself with creative ads and inspirational marketing campaigns, such as its Think Different campaign. And the net result is that when people think of Apple, they don't just think of a technology company. They think of a company that will help them bring their creative vision to life. And individuals make purchasing decisions and seek out services based on how they feel. And experts say emotions are key. So construct and modify your brand based on this. I always tell people, and I say your brand should have a distinct and a trustworthy, no longer second class personality. So it has to really kind of resonate into the public. Now, particularly, your brand has been featured in renowned publications like Complex and GQ and Hypebeast. How did these features come about, and what impact did they have on your brand's growth?
Yeah, I think anytime we get the opportunity to be a part of an amazing publication or outlet, one, it's obviously rewarding and kind of continue or pushes you to continue in what you're building. But I think the only reason you end up there is sticking true to your story and telling your story in different ways, through different projects, through different collaborations, through our own projects, through brand partnerships, and being able to tell our story as an individual brand or also alongside others. Is super important, especially as a small brand. And I think I said it before, like we spent $0 in marketing to this point, other than seeding some influencers or celebrities or whoever it is here and there. But we've just been super fortunate that we've stuck to our story, have told our story in different ways, and have continued just to elevate our actual clothing and our hats, and now getting into more ready to wear and some higher end pieces. and just sticking true to what we believe in, and we'll attract the right audience and customers, and do the right thing to our community and stay communicative to them, and be open with them. If production's not on time and something's going to be late, and we're open with them that's going to happen. We just want to make sure that we're doing the best that we can possibly do and control.
My dear Max, your parents must be so proud.
They're definitely proud, and they're happy to travel with us now too, now that they're gonna both retired a bit. So they're definitely having fun with it, though they might have been one of the bigger skeptics in the beginning of this, like,
Oh, it's always
who's going to
like
wear
that.
that hat. But I think it played out well for now.
I think so too. Now, the fashion industry is known for its fast-paced nature and really ever-changing trends. I mean, one day something's in, the next it's out. How do you stay ahead of the curve and ensure that Siegelman Stable remains relevant in such a dynamic landscape?
Yeah, no, good question. I mean, I think so. Our creative director, also my fiance, has a vision for our brand and our clothing and our pieces, like no one else, and makes them come to life exactly how she imagines them. So I think I think staying on trend is one thing, but I also think trying to create something that you know is going to be a part of something for a long time is a lot more important. I think if we just wanted to stay on trend, I wouldn't have stuck my foot into the mud and was like, I'm going to make this a company that lasts for a super, super long time, and dig deep into the heritage of my dad's story. I'm just going to sell as many hats as I can right now, take the money and run. And I chose the hard route. So I think for us to say we're just trying to stick in the trend and stay around and follow what's next is probably not something that we're going to do. I think something that we're looking forward to is putting out, like I said, like some of our higher end pieces that we're investing a lot of time and production in right now, that it's going to be new and different for us. And that's exciting. So I think as long as we, again, stick to our vision and what we know is going to work and what we think is right, I think we'll hit the right audience.
Well, you're in the right space. The Global Equestrian Apparel Market Report has witnessed steady growth, and steady growth when a report comes out is a good sign. And in recent years, they anticipated to maintain a really positive progression until 2030. Specifically, we're talking about the equestrian apparel market. And one notable trend within the equestrian apparel market is the growing preference for sustainable and eco-friendly products. Now, sustainability is becoming increasingly important in the fashion industry. How does Siegelman Stable integrate sustainability into its business practices?
In a big, big way. We, like I said, my fiance is creative director. She's also from Norway, where their education on sustainability is through the roof compared to someone who grew up in New York in the U.S. and our education on it. So it's at the forefront of almost everything that we do. Just the lids of every hat that we make is 100% recycled material. We use all organic cotton. We use all upcycled or recycled cotton and materials. We make everything in the U.S., so transportation is less and shipping is less. So it is definitely at the forefront of everything that we're thinking of. And we know as a young, smaller brand, it's a lot easier to implement this now versus look back in 5-10 years and try and make up for it and figure out how to get to that point.
Bravo. Now, your brand offers a range of merchandise, like you've repeated hats and sweatshirts and accessories. Could you share some insights into your product development process? Well, now we know you have a better half that is involved in that. But how do you ensure quality and style consistency across your offerings, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're at definitely a point in our business where we know what people want and we also know what we want. So we are happy to continue to re-up on what people want, whether it's a certain colorway or a certain item. But we also know what we want and where we see the vision of the brand going. And that's on the production and the investment side of our ready-to-wear and some of our tracksuits that are coming along, outerwear jackets, knits, again, some higher-end pieces. So I think we're really looking through the lens of a long-term brand and where we're going to sit in the landscape of fashion. But we also know where we started and where a lot of brands start. I think if you look back at how Off-White was created and what Virgil did and how he started Pyrex and getting blanks and just printing the name on it is not so different to how we started. We bought blank hats, or I bought blank hats and blank sweatshirts and screen printed and embroidered our logo and our name on it. And that's how we got out there. And now we're in the next phase of our business, or we have been, where we're doing cut and sew. We're focusing on what materials we're using, how it's made, the sustainability, and where we see we'll be in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 5 years from now.
Beautiful. I love the way that all came together. You started small, slowly but surely. You walked before you ran, and now you are in it for the long haul with a beautiful roadmap. So
We're
now
just warming up.
that you're just warming up. So let's chat brand power, which is essentially the ultimate sway your business will have in its chosen market. Now, this involves thinking about how your business can create a product or service worth having and the power your business has to make that product worth much more than competitors in a crowded market. What is your advice here?
To get through a crowded market, I think one is storytelling. Stick to your story and tell it. I think it's for us, it's having a heritage story to tell. I think we're in a space where any creator, anyone with a following can create their own brand, and their following will most likely buy what they have to sell. And I think a way to break through that is having a true brand story, having a heritage story that luckily I have and am able to tell. And I think as long as you stick to it, you tell it the right way, you produce things the right way, and you make high quality products, you'll continue to break through.
Exactly. And you just said it from the whether it's the financial services sector to restaurants and fashion brands, appeasing your customer is key, and having a strong story is critical. And what we know is that the power of social media and a strong online presence with a good story is incredibly crucial to building brand trust and loyalty. Just the story you told us about your father and keeping his legacy alive. And now your parents are about to retire, and here you are paving the way, going where there is no path and leaving this great big trail. But consumers need and crave connectivity, and connectivity breeds community, and community breeds loyalty. And guess what? A loyal customer feeds the bank account. It's all intertwined. The top sellers rely on social media in an all-out effort to grow a business. Why? Just like you likely buy online, over 25% of young Americans, that's up to age 35, buy directly from social media channels and make their decisions based on those social trends. So this is the new normal. So for leaders and entertainers in business, the need to connect with peers and customers digitally has never been more imperative. And I think you have done that, and your brand has done that, and you stay at the forefront by leveraging influencers organically and naturally. And I think you've created this incredible company, and that's just getting started. So I take my hat off to you and I commend you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The world is your oyster. We are at the end, my dear friend. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's been amazing.
That was our Hydration with Heart segment, brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. That was the incredible Max Siegelman, founder of Seelman Stable. You could head directly to siegelmanstable.com or check them out on the gram at Max_Siegelman or at Siegelman Stable. Head to onceuponacoconut.com for all the incredible flavors. You definitely have to drink the legend. Head directly to our Instagram handle at Once Upon a Coconut. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, 100% pure coconut water. Imagine a drink that's nutrient-rich, powerfully refreshing, naturally sweet with no added sugars, not from concentrate, zero additives, low in calories, absolutely no artificial flavors, and is so tasty that it will become your new favorite beverage. Enter Once Upon a Coconut, the absolute best tasting coconut water you will ever try. Available in 4 refreshing flavors: pure, chocolate, pineapple, and sparkling with energy. Do your taste buds a favor and pick up some today at onceuponacoconut.com.
All right. So the Hydration with Heart segment, Max, is brought to us by Once Upon a Coconut. Our good friends have brought cans over here today for us. We have the pineapple, and I believe you have the chocolate flavor.
I already chugged the chocolate one, so I got another pineapple.
You already chugged the chocolate one.
In our little 15-minute combo, this chocolate is gone.
Okay. What did you think of it?
It tastes amazing. It tastes like childhood in a can.
Chocolate Yoo-hoo, right?
Yeah, it's better, I think.
It tastes like
Healthier
chocolate
for
Yoo-hoo.
you.
Much healthier, full of electrolyte replacement, magnesium, potassium. Those are all the vitals that we need. Amazing for your kidneys, amazing for your liver, your lungs, your hydration, your skin. I could go on and on. When I give my daughter the chocolate one, she thinks she's drinking something very naughty. So I'll just say to you right now that the pineapple flavor that I am tasting tastes like it's just short of some vodka. That's how good it is. It's actually really hydrating. I was having a conversation not long ago with one of our first show reps. His name is Darren Yellen. He's over at Salem. And he said, shoveling the snow on my driveway, and I was getting all jittery and shaky. And he said, I rushed inside, and I typically don't like the way coconut water tastes, but I chugged it anyway just so I could, get the hydration and the replenishment because I knew I needed some electrolyte replacement. He's like, and I actually acquired a taste for it, and now I love it. He goes, and I go and I reach for it, and it's like my go-to pre-workout, post-workout. I just drink it whenever I'm feeling a little bit dizzy or lightheaded, and it just regulates blood sugar. So listen, I'm a huge fan.
I'm a fan. I think I might drink this whole one again.
What else do you use coconut water for?
I drink it to rehydrate after a long run. So I run the New York City Marathon every year. This will be year 6, I think, coming up.
Well, there's a fun fact we didn't know about Max Siegelman.
Back at it. Back at training already. Just training for life, really. But anytime I do a long run after, I definitely like to hydrate with some coconut water.
Right. Well, there you have it. Once upon a coconut. And 10% of all profits on a monthly basis go back to a charity of choice that Once Upon a Coconut works with. So usually it's the Down Syndrome Foundation of Florida, but there's so many incredible foundations they work with and giving back to the community. They're very socially active. Only great things to say about our dear friends over at Once Upon a Coconut. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.